Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA. And I am here with Paula Sikes, who is the Director of Resident Engagement for Cogir Communities. And you guys have 65 communities across the USA, all which are all amazing. And we're so lucky here in the greater Puget Sound area to have so many Cogir communities, and certainly, across California, Colorado, Arizona. You're just amazing how many you have. So,
yes.
Paula, welcome back to the show. And
Thank you.
I would like to end this hour with, if someone is looking for social wellness, what are some tips that you could provide to someone that says, I want to do something today to help me in this area?
Mm-hmm. So one thing that I would recommend is that you get to know your clientele, or you connect with that resident or your loved one. You're going to know them better than anybody, honestly, especially if you're the caregiver and you're taking care of them. So think back of what their likes and their dislikes are. They're going to be more apt to participate in any type of social wellness if it's something that they enjoy and that they like.
Right.
But we always do encourage, like I said, our communities, we have one social outing per day. That could be a happy hour. That could be a coffee chat. Sometimes we have men's groups where the men come down, they have coffee and donuts, and they just kind of share each other's thoughts throughout the day. That's social wellness. That's getting them out of their secured environment or their isolated environment and bringing them out with others. Going to, spiritual activities, maybe a church outing, having lunch with your girlfriends, just all of those different things just make a world of difference. It takes them out, like I said, of that environment of isolation and just brings them into that social where they're having to participate, or they feel like they want to participate in conversation. I always do recommend that there's times where the residents can socially interact with one another. Not just coming out and listening to an entertainer, or, sitting down and maybe playing a game where nobody's really talking, but you want to give them opportunities where they're able to communicate with one another and share
like
each
happy
other's
hour.
stories. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, and what I noticed too is a lot of communities will bring in nonprofits that will share what they do for the community, in their causes. I've seen a lot of that. I've also seen, I know one community that was selling candy at the lunch when they go in for lunch every day. They were, and the community was buying the candy, but they raised the money. And then at the end of the year, or we think it was whatever the school year, they would vote on one of their servers that were, like high school, like late high school, moving into college, and they gave it as a scholarship. And I remember one community, they gave over $7,000 to this kid who had, he was going to the University of Washington. And I think those are, when you're talking about getting involved, that's absolutely that feeling of connection, of knowing that you're making a difference. Wouldn't you agree with that?
100%. One of the things that we find with older adults is that they struggle with is having that sense of purpose and feeling that they're still needed around, because their loved ones are busy. They're busy with work. They're busy with their own families. And so sometimes they feel a little, well, I'm not really helping out anymore. I'm not really contributing anymore. So it's very important to give residents or give senior adults that opportunity to give back to the community, the larger community around us. And that's what we do with Cogir Cares. We have a whole signature program that's dedicated to that.
Yeah. And it's true. It's like somebody would like to make a difference, but they don't necessarily know how.
Absolutely.
And when you feel like you've done something that's made a difference, how does that affect your life? I'm lucky. I get to do what I do. And every day I think, wow, I hope someone will be helped, or,
Yeah.
it will help make a difference in their life through what I do. And I think that's the thing. When my husband will say, well, Suzanne, you're 68 years old. Don't you think you should retire? And I look at him like, what in the world would I do with myself?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine not having that sense of connection with families that I have. And that's not going to change, not anytime
Yeah.
in the near future. So I guess the thing that I look at, Paula, is with Cogir, you give that ability for those that are even in their late 80s to do something that gives them that satisfaction of that they've made a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could give you so many examples of how our
Mhm.
communities have given back to the greater community. One of my favorites, I'll just share really quick.
Yes.
We have a community in Phoenix, Arizona, and you know how hot it gets in the summertime.
Yes.
So
I
recently they teamed up with an organization called the Phoenix Rescue Mission, and they created Summer Hope Totes. So how it all started was they put these collection boxes, and they collected water bottles, suntan lotion, sunglasses. Then the activity director made it an activity for the residents to put those totes together. Once they gathered those totes together, the lifestyle director took them down to the Phoenix Rescue Mission, and they were able to tour the facility and get the background of how this organization even started.
Oh my
And
goodness.
what an amazing feeling all of our residents had. They felt like they made a difference in so many people's lives
Mhm.
because they were able to see the difference that they made and go
Mhm.
down to, this organization, and see how they are still helping.
Yeah.
And so we always encourage our lifestyle directors to reach out to the residents too and find out what are their passions,
Yeah.
what are some things they really care about. Is it the local animal shelters? Is it, the
Sure.
homeless? All of those things, and just giving them those opportunities, but then giving them the opportunity to actually participate
Yeah.
and make a
And
difference.
and the fact that you have them write their life story when they move in, you can
Mhm.
structure those activities based on their values and
Absolutely.
what they can do. And I think that is so amazing. So before we forget, Cozier, you have independent, assisted, and do you have memory care also? I think you
Revere
do.
memory care, yes. Yep.
Yes. And so
Mhm.
you do have pretty much all classes of service and for someone in various locations. And certainly if someone is interested in Cozier communities, tell us about your website.
So our website is cogirusa.com.
Mhm.
You could visit that website, and then you'll be able to pick and choose your
Mhm.
area and where you
Mhm.
are located, and
Mhm.
somebody will contact you if you are interested in coming and touring one of our
Mhm.
communities in your area. We would love to have you come and do that.
Mhm.
And like Suzanne said earlier, we are all over the country. We're coast to coast. We have Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia,
Amazing.
all of the
Amazing.
West Coast,
Yeah.
Arizona and Colorado, and Utah.
Well, and we have stations obviously across the country as well. And we are
Yes,
so thrilled to have had you on the program this week. And so again, social wellness, it's about building connections. And for
absolutely.
seniors and their caregivers, don't give up your life. Make sure that you do something every single day for you. Reach out to someone that you care about. Get involved in a cause, whatever that is.
Mhm.
Do that for you. And I tell you, Paula, it is such an honor to have you on the program. Thank you so much.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much, Suzanne. I appreciate you.
Answers for Elders thanks you for watching the Vitality Revolution. Discover a blueprint to find a whole new gear in life, new awareness, and greater potential. Subscribe and be a part of our community. Answers for Elders is the North Star of navigating senior care, featuring content to help later life go a lot easier.